Hi, welcome to the IHC Craft Room. I'm Mary. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made these whipped wax candles for the very first time. I've never whipped wax before, and it was quite a learning curve, I have to say. I didn't expect it to be. I thought it was going to be like a little walk in the park for the master here, but it wasn't. And I got to tell you, even still, I'm super pumped with the results because I made myself some Hogwarts potion themed candles, and I'm so jazzed to show you all the steps and all the materials. Stick around till the end because I'm going to burn these guys and see how they do. Grab all your stuff and let's get crafty. This is Mary. Welcome to the IHC Craft Room. For materials, we'll begin with Freedom Soy Wax, 4 8-ounce Madison jars. They can hold way more than 8 ounces, by the way. 2 125 ml bottles of fragrance oil in clean lemon and rhubarb strawberry, and 2 30 ml fragrance oils in sea moss and clean terrain. Stabilo 12 wicks and Stabilo 16 wicks. I'm showing some Stabilo 20s here, but I swapped them out for 16s later on. Wick Stickums, of course, and some liquid candle dye in brown, green, black, red, and yellow. For tools, we'll begin with parchment paper, paper towel, a saucepan for a double boiler, a small pour pot, 2 extra large glass measuring cups, a kitchen scale, a pot holder, a tall water glass, a 5-ounce measuring glass, which I'm pretty sure I didn't actually use, some plastic shot glasses, an electric hand mixer, some piping bags and a large piping tip, some wick centering tools, wood stir sticks, a wick trimmer, some scissors, toothpicks of course, a temperature gun, and some silicone molds, potion bottles, hearts, stars, circles, and skulls. And last, of course, some rubber gloves. First, we need to get our embeds prepared so that we have them ready to add into our whipped wax a little later. They won't take very long to solidify, but I'll make sure to give them a solid 12 hours before trying to get them out of the molds. Embeds should be made using some stronger wax like pillar wax to avoid them breaking during the demolding process, but I decided to stick with straight soy wax, just making a couple extras in case I broke some. Let's take a few seconds for our IHC wax embed breakdown. I wanted the embeds to have really vibrant colors, so I was pretty aggressive with the liquid candle dye. I used 2 drops of every color except for black because I was shooting for gray rather than straight up black. I'm gonna add a pinned comment below with this info in case you want to replicate these candles, but make them look good since mine really didn't. I chose not to stress myself out adding fragrance to these embeds. I left them as straight wax, and to keep this part of the candle making process as quick as possible, I also melted the wax in the microwave instead of using the double boiler method. Quick and simple embeds. That's what we were going for here, kids. Let's skip ahead 12 hours and start demolding these embedments. Now, something to make note of here is adding color to soy wax often results in frosting. I expected it to happen, but you can see that the red molds seem to have prevented frosting from happening to those ones. I'm not sure why, but I'll take it. Oh well, no big deal. The point is our wax embellishments are ready. So now let's get to candle making, shall we? If you've seen one of my candle making videos before, you know it's time for candle maker math. When I tell you I was guessing at these candles, that is a real understatement. These 8-ounce Madisons are total liars. They definitely hold much more wax than 8 ounces. So I decided to target about 9.5 ounces per candle, and that includes the wax I'll be whipping. Turns out this wax target was so accurate that it was like too accurate. I could have used some wiggle room, especially with whipping wax, because it's so new to me and I really dropped the ball a few hundred times. So some extra wax would have been welcome. But overall, I'm super pleased with my recipe. And as always, I'm shooting for a 10% fragrance load. Now let's go ahead and measure out our wax. First, I'll weigh out 486 grams of wax and get that to melting. And then I'm going to protect my scale and table from the fragrance oil by covering them with parchment paper and some paper towels. I need 27 grams of each oil for these candles. Let's chat a little bit about these 2 potions. Amortentia is a love potion, which is why I chose a strawberry scent. But instead of like strawberries and champagne or something romantic, I chose rhubarb strawberry because this isn't a romantic love potion, my friend. Real love cannot be manufactured. This is fake, obsessive, toxic love. So it needed a little kick to the gut, a smack to the face. So enter rhubarb for the wake-up call. I chose clean lemon for our Felix Felicis because the crisp citrus scent instantly energizes. And that's how I imagine it would feel to drink a potion full of liquid luck. I guess that shows you how tired I am, that my assumption is feeling lucky is feeling well rested and energized. Anyway, moving right along. Since I've never worked with whipped wax before, I really don't know how it will burn. So I'm going to test these two candles by using Stabilo 12 wicks. I'm going to clean off the bottom of each wick and stick them down firmly to the Wick Stickums before I eyeball the center of each jar and secure the wick down to the bottom using my wood stir stick to make sure it's really well stuck down. Now, all that's left to do is be patient and watch the wax melt. Yeah, okay, like I'm going to do that again. Accio melted wax. First, I'm going to split this melted wax between my two extra large glass measuring cups. And we're here at around 182 degrees at this point, which is excellent. Next, I'll mix in my fragrance oil and give them both a big stir. Check out my double-handed stirring skills. I mean, I really impressed myself over here. Now, let's add some color. I want both of these colors to be very, very light. So I'm not even adding one full drop of liquid dye to each container of wax. Instead, I'm going to slide a toothpick across the eyedropper and then swirl the toothpick in the melted wax. This method was perfect. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. Everything is going really well, right? Well, not for long. We aren't quite at the part where things go off the rails yet. First, let's pour our melted wax into each jar just over halfway up. In retrospect, I wish I had poured the wax higher, but that's just because I did such a crappy job whipping the wax that, it would have been better if this was higher. You know what I'm saying? Once our wax is poured and I've added my wick centering tools, it'll be time to wait for the remaining wax to cool down enough so that we can whip it. Whip it good. This is the part of whipping wax that is key. How long should you wait? What temperature should the wax be before you bust out the electric hand mixer? Well, what I can tell you is that waiting an hour is too freaking long. So my wax was too hard to whip. I ended up melting it in the microwave and then whipping it. Spoiler alert, I didn't manage to get the right consistency of wax on any of these candles. I took 4 shots and I missed every single one. Atta girl, Mare. Now that I have the wax whipped, it's time to fill the piping bag, and this water glass was super helpful for that. On the first candle, Felix Felicis, I had all my tools ready, but I wasn't prepared enough. I should have set up the piping bag before I remelted and whipped the wax. Working with wax that needs to stay a specific temperature or consistency put Mary in a state of panic at the disco. So that's something I definitely changed for the next 3 candles. I was much more prepared. Before we start piping the wax, I'm going to go ahead and trim down my wick, but I still left it pretty long compared to a regular candle. Now, let's go ahead and start piping. I definitely would have preferred to have more whipped wax available. So next time I'll definitely melt more wax. Unfortunately, for the first time in a long time, I was so bent out of shape making these candles that I forgot to hit record when I added Felix's stars. Well, that was pretty unlucky, wasn't it, Felix Felicis? Anywho, let's move on to Amortentia. This time I prepared my piping bag before I remelted and whipped the wax, like a good girl. For this wax, when I remelted it, I tried to not go too far, because if I was to melt it too much, then I'd have to wait again, and Mary doesn't like waiting, guys. It seems to me that the key to whipped wax is to catch it right before it fully hardens, but it needs to be like almost fully hard, and that makes the window for piping super duper small. For this candle, I decided to add the hearts in right away and pipe some wax around and on top of them so that they would peek through. And I topped it with a white potion bottle and one last little heart. In theory, this is super pretty, but in reality, it's pretty alright, pretty messy, and pretty not so bueno, Mary. Well, that's 2 potions done. Now let's get started on the last 2. Hopefully these ones will come out a little bit better. Spoiler alert, they didn't. Now we're going to do pretty much the same thing we just did. Measure the wax, get it started melting, and then start measuring our fragrance oil. Nothing new here, but let's take this opportunity to talk about the last 2 potions, because these 2 are trippy. First up is Polyjuice Potion, which is super cool and creepy at the same time. Polyjuice allows you to take on the physical appearance of another person by adding one of their hairs or crusty toenails to the potion. Ew, ew, ew. Traditionally, this potion is like a sludgy green, so I'm using sea moss fragrance oil for this one because, sludgy green. For our last potion, I chose Clean Terrain, not because of its name, but because of its fragrance notes of spring rain and citrus. To me, it just screams rebirth and growth. So it fits the Skelegrow potion perfectly, since this potion allows you to mend and regrow bones. Now let's get these Stabilo 16 wicks stuck firmly into the vessels, and then it'll be time to wait for the wax to melt before it's time to start mixing in our fragrance and color. Now that the wax is melted, I'm going to split it in half, and then I'll go ahead and start adding in the fragrance oil and giving them both a really good stir. Once again, check out my double-handed stir skills, y'all. Hey-o! Since our polyjuice potion needs to be green, but like a nasty kind of green, I'm going to add 4 drops of green liquid dye and then a swirl of brown using the same toothpick method from earlier. All I can say is, ew. Ew, ew, ew. I'm not adding any color to the Scala Grow since I want that candle to be white with gray skulls. Now let's go ahead and pour the wax into the vessels. Once again, I only poured to just over the halfway point, and since I knew how things went with the first 2 candles, I would have done better topping these up more, but well, I didn't do that. Alrighty, let's wait for this wax to cool down. This time, I only waited 45 minutes, but that was still no bueno. The wax was definitely just too hard, and it was not whipping properly at all. So back to the microwave we go. This consistency is much better, so I'm gonna go ahead and whip that wax. How? Whip it good. That's right. You got it. Okay, now for this one, at first I tried putting the embeds in place, but I changed my mind and then laid down a full swirl of whipped wax across the top of the candle. And I shoved those round embeds in and then continued piping around and on top of them before I topped it with 1 green potion bottle. This one was supposed to come out a bit on the gross side because of the color of the potion, but I repeat, ew. For our Scala Grow potion, I'm going to skip straight to the piping. These skulls were super thick, so I ended up propping them up between the wick and the glass before I started adding some shots of whipped wax. Except the wax wasn't hard enough, so my first couple of shots were basically just blobs with no definition. What a bummer. So I had to wait a bit to let the wax solidify a bit more before I could complete the candle and top it with a potion bottle. Yeah, and it was on the last one. I should have known better by attempt number 4, right? Well, apparently not. It's now been about 24 hours since I made these candles, so let's see how they turned out. First, I can tell you that every one of these candles has wet spots, and Scala Grow here is really showing off those blobs I made instead of nice poofs. They even covered up a couple of the skulls. I still like the idea of this candle, but the execution needs some serious work. Same deal with polyjuice, lots of wet spots, and now add in the color factor and we have some significant frosting here as well. Not unexpected, but still a bit of a bummer. Our friend Felix Felices here for the first of the lot is still experiencing the same issues. Wet spots, some frosting, and just an overall not so attractive candle. Last we have Amortentia. This one is just so cute but so messy. It's like Mary circa 2001 when I used to force myself to go clubbing. Cute but messy, you know? Anyway, let's go ahead and light these guys up and see how they do. When I test burn my candles, I usually light them and then leave them alone until the 30-minute mark. But that is not how things played out with these candles. These candles needed so much intervention from me to burn. If I wasn't there to pour out wax, trim wicks, and use a heat gun to undo all the tunneling, these candles wouldn't have been candles. They would have been messy, scented paperweights. None of these candles burned well. None of them. But Felix gave me the least trouble, and he was still a shitty boyfriend, so bye Felix. By far, the worst of the bunch was Scala Grow. The tunneling was no joke, and I really had to use my heat gun to remove all the excess wax so that I could come close to somewhat of an even melt pool. So for all intents and purposes, these candles are a complete fail. I couldn't get them to burn. So the question still lingers. Stabilo 12 or Stabilo 16? I guess it will have to remain a Hogwarts mystery. So, what do you think? Total bummer, right? Like, literally nothing went right. Nothing happened the way I wanted it to happen. And the candles didn't burn well. This guy in particular wanted me to drink heavily today. And I'm like, whatever, bro. Scala Grow, me and you will drink. It's fine. But I have to say, I'm super, super pleased that of the 4 candles, the one that burned the best was our friend Felix Felices. Like, it had to be Liquid Luck that would be the best burning candle. So I'm pleased about that. And Polyjuice Potion was, a close second, but definitely Felix was the leader of the pack. And I will say, there is a lot to learn about whipped wax and making these like dessert style, just these decadent looking candles. If you're one of the people out there who makes these candles on the day-to-day, whether you just make them for yourself or you sell them or you have like an overall company or you're just giving them away, whatever reason that you have perfected the art of making these candles, you have my respect because that's a lot of effort. It's going to take me a lot of time to perfect it. These are far from good. For a first attempt, they're okay, but it would definitely take me some time to perfect my candles to a point where I would be willing to put them up against one of yours in a store. So, mad respect to all of you. Thank you for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed watching my journey on learning how to make whipped wax. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about candle making, or maybe wreath making, or dot painting, check out one of these videos. And don't forget to subscribe so that we can continue to get crafty together. Toodaloo!